Hey, all you out there in Righteous Rebel land, especially if you're joining us from LinkedIn, YouTube, or the Righteous Rebel Facebook group. We're so happy that you're joining us on this amazing Monday, and hope that Monday's kicked off just like really spectacular for you. And if not, it's never too late to start. So today, we're coming to you live because Leah has an amazing opportunity for you to be a part of that. It's going to last, I believe, 30 days. But before we get going into that, just a couple of quick reminders. For those of you who are new to Leah and myself and the Righteous Rebels, we recently just ended our 7-day Love Me Challenge that ended out the last 7 days of February just with like awesome, yummy, getting back to you kind of lovin's. And we're going to do a live Zoom call for those of you who have participated in the Love Me Challenge, just as a way to share what your experience was, if you had any aha moments, and if you just want to come and be like, whoa, this is just a really awesome thing, and to hear what other people had to say about it. We want to give you space to do that. And because we want to hear what you have to say as well. We love learning from you and interacting with you, even if it's like this at the moment. So that is going to happen on Friday. If you are a part of the Righteous Rebels group, if you're not a part of the Righteous Rebels group, go on over to the Righteous Rebels on Facebook and ask to join the group, because we will be making a separate post this week where you can click the link. You'll also be able to get it in the comments here. Click the link and go back and find the 7-day challenge so that you can be a part of it if you haven't done so already, or go and redo it. And was that a hold on?
Hold on. So if you, with that link, you can sign up for the Love Me challenges to come right to your inbox, and you can do them day by day. Otherwise, you can scroll through the group, but we don't have that in any special spot. I thought you could put a file to it. It just doesn't work that way. So we do have it set up as an email that will come to your mailbox every day. And then also a link, another registration for the Zoom call. That will be a separate link, but I will differentiate those in the post.
Awesome. Thank you for reminding me of that. So you have an opportunity to participate in the Love Me Challenge. You may or may not get it completed by the time this live Zoom happens. And guess what? It's okay. Come and join us anyway. There also will be a post of what that time is going to be, because right now in this moment, we haven't decided. And on Monday, we are also going to start a new challenge because it's March, called Lucky Me. And we will be giving details of what that's going to entail, what it looks like here really soon. But today we're going to get started with a new project that Leah's got going. She's really working hard to assist me in surrendering perfectionism, or the strands of it that are left. But even more than that, she just loves sharing what she loves and getting you involved in that as well, and maybe branching out or trying something new, and really getting into the flow of what allowing the process to happen means in your world. And I know that I've been practicing. I mostly enjoy it. I'm still learning. And so I am here as the guinea pig. And with that said, I'm just going to turn the time right on over to Leah to direct the rest of this amazing presentation.
Thank you so much, Jen. Yes, I just really wanted to bring the whole idea of letting go with watercolors. Even if you're not ready to pick up a brush, it's a great space to just talk about the process and how it can translate in different parts of your life. I'm so fascinated by the idea of creativity, not so much the product that we get from creativity, but what happens to us when we tap into that creative part of ourselves that we don't allow space for, because we don't have time, and there's so many more other important things to do, and just what happens to us and how we come alive when we learn to let go of needing to know what's going to happen at the end of it. And so I'm really excited. I wanted to extend this into 30 days just to practice showing up and practice being imperfect and teaching imperfectly. and I'm just going to let that be what it's going to be. So I'm going to switch my camera. All you need to participate is a paintbrush, some water, some watercolors. I have this set here, but you can, whatever you have. If you're looking for suggestions for watercolors, I definitely have some favorites, and just put it in the comments. I'm happy to give you any suggestions for that. And some watercolor paper. Usually recommend no less than 140 press, just because it's anything less than that doesn't hold water as well. You're going to have a smooth side. You're going to have a rough side. You want your rough side up. It'll absorb more water. So with that being said, I'm going to switch it over to my other camera, and we can see what I'll be doing. And Jen's going to follow along. I love having Jen as my guinea pig because she has some reservations around letting go into the process of using our watercolors. And it can be scary. I hear that all the time with people is, oh, that's something I want to do one day. And I'm, or I've always wanted to. And I'd love for you to share, Jen, what is for you.
You kind of cut out. What is for me?
What that experience has been for you.
Oh.
And before you share that, I'm just the actual activity we're going to do is just make circles. You can make big circles, large circles. You can experiment with putting the water down first. You can experiment with just adding color and see how that works. So go ahead, Jen. What has the experience been like for you in diving into the world of watercolors?
Well, it is something that I have wanted to do for a long time. I've seen it. I love how it looks. It's just, there's just something kind of magical and mysterious about it. And I never really allowed myself to do it because, one, I didn't really see in my mind the pictures. And so the thought of like just taking, the brush and putting it to paper and allowing the process to happen just really kind of freaked out my mind. But as I've gotten into it and I've watched you and I've watched a couple others, it's been really fun just to see how, like, I love to watch how you just run, what did I call it? Splish your paintbrush or something through your colors, and you even let them mix. And that was kind of wild for me. And I loved it. So really it's just kind of giving me permission to realize that the water and the colors are going to do what they want. Mine never look like yours, and that's going to be okay. It just gets to be okay. It still freaks my mind out. And my mind and my heart share a lot of hugs and a lot of talks, and we're just going to continue to move our way through it until we find, I have had fun in it. That would be lying to say I haven't had fun in it. But just until the process just feels more smooth or natural. And yeah, that's where I'm at.
I think this for me was really important to do just because of sometimes the feedback I get of why people don't try and don't allow themselves that space. Part of it too for me is just the space of quieting the chatter. And I remember an experience I had years ago when I didn't consider myself a creative, and I thought that was just for kids. That I didn't have time for that. I was a teenager. Like I'm too cool for that stuff. That stuff's not for me. And just being in a really in a real space of struggle, and someone coming up to me and putting some watercolors things in front of me. And I was just so insulted by that. But then curiosity got the better of me. And I just started, I think I grabbed a blue and I sploshed that on the page, and I just loved how it felt. And then before I knew it, I had made a bunch of paintings of just allowing myself to feel. And I didn't have words for how I felt, but it was a way for me to calm the chatter that was going on in my head. It was a way for me to express the stuff that was too painful to express. And it was a way for me to just be really present. And I feel like that's an aspect that we're really needing to be conscious of in our distracted world today, is how are we being present? How are we showing up? And do we give ourselves the space to just play and let ourselves be? We attach so much to productivity, and we attach so much to, is it worth our time? And I could be doing a lot of other important things, but feeding yourself is such an important part of how we get to show up and how we fill our own cups. Like, as I'm doing this, I feel myself wavering because I'm getting lost in how it pools down here, and why didn't it take color here, and oh, look at, there's a little bubble. I love following the water and what it does. And there's just so much to see in that. Now, I know, Jen, you've made some really fun paintings, and there was a bird that you had shared with me. Like, where are you finding your inspiration? Because I know you had said about not knowing what the pictures look like. What are you finding helpful in that process?
So I appreciate the things that you just said, and I have a lot of places that I can just let go and let my mind just be and enjoy being in the experience and letting it unfold as it. Most of those happen to be out in nature, a little bit with music, but man, when it comes to putting it on paper and seeing it in front of me, that's still just a challenge for me. So where I feel like for me, I've got to have the examples. Like, I want to see it. So watching you do this is like really amazing for me, because I'm like, okay, but then I have to go. My mind goes, I have to tell myself, you can choose your own colors. You can. So it's right now. It's just looking at what other people have done, and making my own version. It's kind of like that cooking show Nailed It, because that's kind of what it seems like sometimes. Is I have my own version of what they have created, and which is beautiful because I at least did it. I took the time to be uncomfortable and to just do it. So I'm just looking at pictures. My family has gotten into watercolors lately. I'm making renderings of things that they have done, and just doing my best to have fun with that.
I love that. And I think that's part of, as we start into an art journey, it's that whole idea, if we don't have the pictures already, we feel almost like it's not for us, because we think that art is all original, and it's just really not. Like, we all have to start somewhere, and copying or not copying, what's that called? Interpreting something or trying to recreate something in your own view of it is so part of how we learn techniques, and how we learn how to do the things, how to make it. And as we pick up those skills, we can translate them into other things that we're doing. I think of, sorry, I'm just getting lost in this little orange, sweet little piece. You can let your your bubbles touch if you want them to touch. I, for whatever reason, have opted out of that, and I think I might deviate in this particular instance right here and see what happens. But you can layer it, you can make it however you want. Here I've created this cute little bloom, and just let it be what it's going to be. I think it's just so important to create spaces to just allow yourself to have no attachment to the outcome. And if this is your excuse to have that space and try something that maybe you've always wanted to try, I invite you to join us for the next 30 days as we try different ways of playing with watercolor, and allow it to be a way of meditating and being present and just observing.
So Leah, you said something about, one of my things is just mind chatter junk stuff is this not wanting to be a copycat.
Mm.
And I love the piece that you just shared about, it's taking what someone else has done and making your own version of that. And I listened to something recently. It might have been Rick in a Rick podcast. What's his last name, Leah? We've been listening.
Rick Rubin.
Yeah, Rick Rubin. Dude, I love how that man talks about creativity. And he was saying it's like actually one of the biggest compliments you can give someone is to
Mhm.
appreciate what they've done enough to want to take your own time and thoughts and see what you can come up with. And so that's where I'm really trying to wrap my head around when it comes to the art and the painting is just saying, wow, that I really like what they've done there. What can I come up with that's my own? That still freaks me out though, because the perfectionist piece wants it to be the same. I have to remember that it's my flair. It's my it's
Yeah.
where my current abilities are in moving a brush or whatever it may be.
And I love that that reminder. I've been very much in that Rick Rubin world of just he's just speaks so much truth to what creativity is and what it isn't, and how we can practice it in our everyday lives. And it's not something that's endowed to just some of us. It's in us all. And I always say to people, if you were a child once, you are creative, and it's whether we're going to use those tools of creativity or we're not. I think of why is nature adventuring so fulfilling? Like why do I crave that? Why do I geek out on that stuff. And for me, I think it's just because I get to be a kid and be lost in the wonder of it. And that's what creativity feels like to me is getting lost in the wonder of what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen when I make this bubble close to this bubble? Is it gonna balloon? Has it gotten dry enough that it's not gonna balloon? Where is the white gonna show up in this piece? What is it going to look like when it's dry? Like all these questions. And I really give it for me, it's a space for my inner kid to come out and just be curious and see what's going to happen.
I love it. And you talk about nature and adventuring in nature, and I think that's one of the things I love too is I don't judge how nature's showing up.
Yeah.
I trust how nature is showing up, and I love that piece of it, and that it allows me to party and play with it. And I don't see the trees judging each other for how they have shown up or not shown up, or judging themselves. And I love that piece. And so it's for me, it's just bringing those things into I'm going to call my art. I'm going to bring it into my art, and
Yeah.
just the art of living and creating. Because the reality is we're born to create. Our souls want to create just like they want to adventure, and they want to be alive. And this is just an easy way to do it for some.
Yes. And I love that you're doing the uncomfortable thing and you're showing up. That's like 90% of it. But that's where we're going to leave it for today. You can continue. You can fill your whole page. You can take a Sharpie marker and make this cute little piece of art into something that reminds you to show up, a favorite quote, and you can hang it somewhere you can see it, or you can tuck it away as a bookmark or make it into bookmarks. Like let it be yours. Ah, so cute.
I know.
Love it.
I know.
So thank you so much for joining us today. And we look forward to being back.
We'll do this again tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay. All right. You guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being a guinea pig with me. We would love to see what you're doing over on the Righteous Rebels page. We do have an art gallery. Feel free to go and put your artwork in there and let us celebrate you wherever you're at in your creative adventuring journey. And we're going to send them out how we always do, Leah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome. I love it. So at the Righteous Rebels, we'd love to send you out by saying, be bold, be brave,
be brave,
be a rebel. All right. We'll see you soon.